Hi, it's Oksana Tashakova again here, covering the next step of our 5 steps to a wildly successful small business. If you remember, for your homework, I asked you to create a very detailed description of your niche and your ideal customer. How did you go? If you haven't done this, go back and do it now. Each step of this system is indispensable, and if you miss one step, it's like trying to drive a car without one of the wheels. So now, let's talk about the step 2 of this success system, your value proposition. Your value proposition describes the bundle of products and services you offer that have value for your specific customer segment. I use niche, customer, or customer segment interchangeably, so please don't get confused. It all means the same thing. So let's demystify this term value proposition because it can be confusing at times. Say you have a product or service which is your core product. Along with this core product, you should add extra benefits for your clients in order to better serve their needs and give them a reason why they should choose you over your competitor. That's why this section is not called your product or service, but called a value proposition, because it's a bundle of stuff you do for your clients, and by offering it to you aim to satisfy the needs of your selected niche. First, you have to start with your customer needs. When you were describing your customer, the question you answered are really important to consider as you describe your offering. For instance, Karina's basic product was desserts. Did your customer need desserts? Of course not. There is a difference between surface needs or desires and core needs and desires. Often, your customers aren't even aware of these core desires and needs. And you need to identify what core needs of your customers does your product satisfy. For example, if you sell insurance, likely core need it satisfy is a peace of mind. If you sell puppies and pets, you sell joy and happiness. If you have a spa, you sell soul and spirit rejuvenation, and so on. Karina's niche needed a place to hang out with people they identified with. They needed a place that reflected what they valued, what they think is important, what they think says something about themselves. Karina's customers might love and want desserts, but what she offers answers a deeper need for them about their own identity. When Karina's customers buy her product and hang out in her shop, they're having a proof that they are hip, arty, tech-savvy, socially conscious, and we generation. Karina added value by offering free Wi-Fi, using recyclable packaging, hanging the cool art on the walls, and playing the trendy music teenagers love. She added benefits and value by addressing her customers' core needs. Imagine you go to a printing shop to have copies made of a flyer you've created. You have a million of other tasks to run, but you notice that they have a deal. Choose our Express while you wait service and get 50% off your next order. You decide this is a great deal, especially after their friendly staff points out that you can enjoy some refreshments in the waiting area and that you don't have to pay anything if you are not happy with the results. You are offered selection of free beverages and guided to a sitting area with a comfy sofas and free Wi-Fi. You intend to check your emails and happy to get flyers done and not have to come back to pick them up. As you reach for one of the magazines, you notice their free brochure consultation offer on the front of their own brochure on the table in front of you. You open this up and discover that they will sit down with you to help you design the perfect brochure for your business, one that takes into account the text size, spacing, color, and other features that will suit your business and appeal to your target market. Not only this consultation is free, They offer free delivery on orders of $200 or more. You are sold again. You've gotten more than you bargained for and have had a great experience. Their printing expertise is just one of the offer's benefits. The express service, the customer service, the beverages, the free Wi-Fi and brochure consultation, and free delivery, as well as pay only if satisfied guarantee. All of this adds value and answer your need for one-stop shopping, quality, customer service, and convenience. They have helped solve your needs of business task management. Once you answer thoroughly questions from my first video, you will have plenty of information to consider what to include in your offer so your target market finds it particularly attractive. Something to keep in mind: defining your niche helps you decide what you don't do as well as defining what you do offer. This gives your business strong focus so that you can be super attractive to your niche and almost repellent to the group you don't want to serve. You don't want to waste your time and efforts on customizing and pleasing segments that will never be strong or loyal customers. You can never satisfy a market segment that is too broad, so narrow down your niche as much as possible, but make sure that its size is sufficient to support your business. You can always broaden your market later when you are ready to expand. This is the value of offer or value proposition. Nowadays, good quality is an expected feature, a given, not an added benefit. The quality of your main product or service is simply your entry point or ticket into business. What you do over and above that will distinguish you from your competition and bring you sales. Do you get now why it's so important to think about who your customers really are and what they really need? This allows you to create an offer, a value proposition that will consist of your product and extra stuff that's cost you little in terms of your actual investment in them, but comes with a great returns as they differentiate you from your competitors and greatly increase the perceived value of your offering. Your core product or service may be highly innovative one where you literally have little or no competition. In this case, it may not be necessary to think of ways to add value extras, but it still helps to think of what you offer in terms of what deeper need it fulfills for your customers. Instead of thinking of your offer simply in terms of its own value, think of it in terms of how it solves your customers' problems according to the descriptions you created in the first video. Nowadays, competition is very tough in every industry, so you have to remember this golden rule. Most of the time, it doesn't matter what you sell. It's all about how you sell it, how you package it. I mean, what extra features, bonuses, offers you package with your product. How can you add value to your offer? Value can be quantitative, like price or speed of service, or it can be qualitative in terms of design or customer experience. You can get caught up with competitor wars if you focus too much on cost and performance and end up undercutting your own business in the long run. Plus, people are suspicious of things that seem to be too good to be true and feel more secure and personally invested in businesses and brands that they have to pay for. Here is a few better examples of how you can add value and differentiate yourself. This is very important, so I suggest you grab a pen and paper and write it down. First one is a novelty. What unconscious need can you address? What is really unique about what you offer that's never been emphasized or offered before? Another one is customization. How can you tailor your product or service to your segment's specific needs and desires? Another one is getting the job done. How do you make your customer's life easier? Can you do home delivery, create online ordering system, or offer evening hours? Another one is status. Does your business brand give customers a certain kind of status or identity connection? How can you emphasize this? Another one is risk reduction. Adding money-back guarantees, warranties, and free trial reduces your customer's risk and overcomes the objections for trying your product. Let me share with you another example which demonstrates in practice all those things we discussed so far. Another client of mine had an electrical trading business. He supplied electrical wires and fittings to developers who used it in their construction projects. He made the same mistake as myself, Karina, and many other new business owners. He didn't choose a niche. He chased all possible projects. Tough competition, commoditization of his product made margins so negligible that he struggled to keep his head above the water. So he sought help, which was wise. Remember the golden rule I've shared with you in my previous videos. Your customers have to want your product. They've got to need it, and most importantly, they've got to have money to afford it. What do you think we found when we assessed my client's business? The developers needed his products. They wanted it, but often could not afford the quality he was offering, and he had to compete against cheap alternatives. And that eroded his margins. So we identified 20% of his customers who were responsible for 80% of his income and analyzed what was common among them. Most of them were contractors who were building premium quality projects, who had a good budget and who cared about the quality. So these developers were his ideal clients. As a result, we repositioned him from being a commodity trader to an integrated solution provider and trusted consultant. So instead of selling per meter wires and per number of sockets, all of a sudden he was offering huge package deals where he took care of all electrical needs of those contractors. He was able to charge premium because he was offering packages of products, services, as well as consulting to developers. He offered some complementary services, helping them save money by efficient electrical wiring configuration and so on. Now, rather than selling wires, he was selling peace of mind. He was selling saving to contractors. He was selling get your hands and mind free for important stuff and let us worry about it. Get it? And yes, this repositioning was not an easy overnight thing because it required some investment and development of capabilities he and his company didn't have. But once he knew what he needed to do, it wasn't that difficult. But man, did it make a difference in his income? Hell yes. It made a difference between struggling to have his ends meet and barely keeping his head above the water to 7-digit income. How do you think he knew how to come up with all these extra services that set him apart from his competition and services that his customer really needed? By answering the same questions I gave you in my last video. What keeps his clients awake at night? What frustrates them? What they're angry about? And don't answer what frustrates them in general in their life. That may be many things. And you will never know, and maybe you don't want to know. But what frustrates them in relationship to your industry is the answer you are seeking. Then, taking those frustrations and building your offer that helps them dealing with it will set you apart from your competition and give you a solid foundation for your business. Your assignment until the next video is to answer the following questions. Grab a pen and paper and write it down. What value do you deliver to your customers? Which of your customers' problems are you helping to solve? Which of your customer needs are you satisfying? What can you offer over and above your core product or service that adds value, makes you unique and desirable compared to other alternatives? I want you to answer these questions only after you defined your niche and described your ideal customer, as I asked you in my previous videos. Put my offer as a header next to your customer column of your post-it notes. Look at your customer description and try to think of how your offer will solve their problems and serve their deeper needs. Create as many post-it notes as you can, the emotional benefits, not just functions and benefits of your offerings, and ways in which you can create added value. At this stage, don't try to get it perfect. You will refine it as you go. For now, write all possible answers that come to your mind and stick them under the offer header. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you have enjoyed this video and found the information I gave you valuable, you will really love this ebook, 5 Steps to a Wildly Successful Small Business, value of $40, and you are getting it absolutely free from me, so you can go beyond simply surviving and start building a thriving business. This ebook is complimentary and goes hand in hand with this video series, the fragment of which you just saw. Please click on the link below this video, enter your name and email address, and you will get access to this amazing ebook instantly.